Hello, 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 and welcome everybody. Today is comics news, and we're going to be covering some really interesting things. We got a couple of sad news too, but we'll get to those as soon as we jump over the news segment, of course. But welcome everybody. Very happy to have you all here. I say Roger is in here as well as usual, and Joshua, our most favorite troll of all time, and pretty good moderator too. Thank you guys for joining. Of course, keep in mind the same thing we say every day. Check those links, hit that share button, subscribe, bell, like, all those kind of things. We do appreciate them. And as we grow little by little and have lots of fun with it, and are very, very careful about not getting the copyright strikes for daring to talk about trailers and movies and stuff like that. How dare we? But yeah, it is what it is. Nevertheless, oh, Jennifer's in here. Hey, Jennifer. But let's come over and say hello to our panel. Now, of course, we have someone with us that we don't see in the comics news enough, I would say. We have Bill from Argos Creations. How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm just hanging out, chilling, and I've decided I'm never going to recycle again. It's pointless.
Okay, no more recycling. You're going on a boycott. Shall I ask why, or do I not want to know why?
Well, I think I've recycled long enough and I've done my duty. And now, actually, not only am I not recycling, I'm gonna throw trash out my window while I'm driving down the street.
All right. Okay, he's protesting something. All right,
That's
good.
really aspiring. I
It
really
is.
value that.
It is.
Yeah,
And and,
that's willpower. Yeah,
and he's of course
I'm a
the most.
radical. I'm a
He,
yeah,
subversive. I'm a radical. I would get a mohawk, but that's
yeah.
trendy too. So I'm just gonna get a very clean cut,
uh
middle-aged man haircut. I'm
All
going
right,
with
there
it.
you go, and you'll go with it. So
Radical.
tell us what you're. That was pretty good. Tell us what you're drawing there, dude.
I'm I'm just doodling. I'm doing a little Doctor Doom, and then I'm gonna break into. This is like my warm up for the night. There's a little pen and ink and a little bit of watercolor,
Uh,
and then I'm gonna do some D&D character design. So
Ooh,
I
sweet.
went to a game store today. It's the first one I've been to in a long time, and I actually now have my own set of dice and little miniatures. I'm geeked out. I'm ready to go.
Sweet. There you go. That's what we want to hear. And and Joshua says, "Hello there, brother Bill." Well, absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, Josh.
Uh, and of course, keep in mind, guys, I wanted to introduce the long time no see face first, but I have neglected my duties because I must always introduce the oily bird who
hmm
devours
hmm
pies on a daily
hmm
basis, the
Yeah, you
booster.
understand. You understand what happens when I don't get introduced first. I start acting like a diva. I start throwing things.
That's true.
I act like a little. I have a little tantrum. It's not pretty, you know. I'll let this
It's
one
not.
time slide, but if that happens again, I swear to God, I'm gonna kill this. I will bury you all.
I shan't forget again. I promise. And, that's a word that no one uses much anymore. Shan't, shall not. Everyone says won't.
Oh, that's because it makes you sound like a puffer.
Yeah, but see, the problem with it is shan't and won't are used in separate situations, right? People are grammatically incorrect often, and the absolute dumbing down of the Western society is quite irritating to
Uh,
me, I would say, or irritating,
no,
maybe would be better.
I was gonna. I
Shan't
mean,
kind of sounds like
irritating. Yeah.
Shan't
Oh
sound, kind of sounds like a
no.
vowel movement. I think is the
Does
thing.
it?
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. I just took a big
No,
shant today.
shan't and
Yeah.
shat, they're very different.
I
There's an
just
N
Kind of
in
shanted all
there.
over the place. Don't go in there. I've wrecked it.
it's kind of like thou and thrice and thee.
Either and or. Yeah, yeah, okay. Uh,
Either
but uh,
or.
mhm, mhm. Uh,
You just
but
need
uh,
words like gimme.
and, Dixie says, "Is Taiki Watiti on the show tonight, Chester? Unfortunately, I can't keep the guy out
Yeah.
of here.
You
What are you
found me.
gonna
It's
do?
me. I was Taika Waititi all along.
Why
I'm.
did he?
Yeah.
Oh my, here we go. It started. Go
Mhm.
ahead, give me your best YTD. Go ahead, let's hear it.
Yeah, sure. All right. Hey, bro, it's really bad when the right wing makes references to Nazis, but I'm gonna do a good ass Nazi movie, eh?
That's perfect. It's perfect. It
I'm
sounded like
gonna
that
be a
stupid
Hitler
rock guy.
or Sieg Heil. Oh, yeah, bro.
Hey, yeah, bro. Okay. And Joshua says, nobody cares, Chester. Oh well, that's my life. Kuzmeti's coming here. Hello, Kuzmeti. Haven't seen you in a while. Very nice, very nice. Let's move down the row, of course, guys. We have George with us. How you doing, George? Now, George is has been showing some very interesting things offline. Do you want to share anything, or is it still secret?
Sure, sure. Give me a sec. Let me just
He's getting
pull up.
something. Hold on, guys.
Give me a sec. Give me a sec. I gotta find the file.
He's finding the
Bring
file,
it.
guys. We're waiting
I'm
patiently.
finding the file right now.
Yeah.
It's just here. Okay, I found it. Now I'm gonna go to this doohickey thing about screen sharing. Yeah, right here, and there we go.
There it is. So this is his new release cover. Now George, of course, was telling me also that he was everything is out. It's out for proofing right now, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's awesome. This is Canadian George, Nick. You're right. But I like it actually. He was talking to me about how he changed the angle. Of course, this is making an homage to the original Action Comics' release of Superman, of course. But he's changed it up and gone more three dimensional, and I like it, dude. I think it's a good cover. What do you think, Booster?
Yeah, I like it. It's really awesome, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I like the change actually. It looks nice. Looks nice.
But
Uh,
why is that car in space? Why is he smashing it? That it seems rude.
because there's
What is the
criminals
context of this
inside it.
situation?
There's bad people. He's dealing with the bad people.
No, it's good. I like how he used the setting sun to break up the cool colors in there and give some more attention to his main character. Man, that's a cool drawing.
Yeah, it
Nice
is.
coloring.
I like
Looks
it.
like
Yeah.
space lizards.
They are. Joe is destroying the space beetle because the space lizards try to steal it. So the only way to stop them from stealing the car is to smash it into pieces.
That's a smart choice. That is the wise choice. Destroy the evidence. Yeah. Okay. It does look good. You're right, Nixie. All right. Well, thank you very much, George, for sharing that, and all of you who have backed it. Of course, it's improving, so it'll be coming out sooner than later, which is awesome. And of course, we're also joined by the Denali Llama. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing fantastic. I had a thought when you were say, Mr. Taika Waititi, name the way you pronounce it sound like white titties.
Well, Booster said why titty. He did say
I
that.
see
Yeah.
white titty. I did
He
it
did
on
it. He did it
purpose.
on
You did it on
purpose. He was
purpose?
being funny.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was being really rude because the guy's a tit.
He is a little bit. He is. But
He's a tit that can occasionally make a good movie, and maybe Jojo Rabbit's up his alley.
I have a
Maybe.
feeling it will be, dude. Those
Mhm.
kind of indie films, those odd, off humor type of indie films, he's really good at that. Actually, he's
Have you
really
seen
good at
Hunt
that.
for the Wilder People yet?
No, I haven't, dude. I really need to check that out, but I
Just
can never remember the name.
ah,
It's so stupid name. It's probably the problem.
that's probably a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, Asuka says, Chester, does Joe King have ethmocephaly? Does Joe King have ethmocephaly?
What the hell's that word?
I
Can
don't
you
know.
just
Look it
break
up.
it down into?
You look it up while I go and
Hematocephaly is a
start the
type of
news.
cephalic disorder caused by holothrombophaly. Hematocephaly is a least common facial anomaly. It consists of proboscis separating narrow set eyes with an
Pro-
absent nose and
uh-huh.
abnormal smallness of one or both eyes.
Well, that sucks, dude. It kind of,
Yeah,
Okay,
that's brutal.
yeah. It kind of
what?
sounds like Nancy
Don't
Pelosi.
don't Google image that for goodness sake. Oh,
Is this something like blue waffles?
no, and I disavowed that, George. For goodness.
All right, I don't even want to know what that is. You guys keep
Don't,
educating
yeah,
me about horrible things. I don't want to
don't
know. Don't
Google
tell
any
me.
of this for goodness
I'm
sake.
not.
Oy.
That's
I'm
like
going to
that's
start
like
the
what
news.
is that when when the
Yes.
Elephant Man pulls down his shorts?
Oh my God. All right,
Uh,
here we go. Moving on.
Close enough.
Today,
Close
unfortunately,
enough,
with the
Bill.
news, guys, do have a couple of sad little bit of news to cover. Two, unfortunately. But the first one here is Rip Taylor, king of camp and confetti, comedian host, dies at 88. Now, Rip Taylor, you have to be of a certain age to remember Rip, but this dude was freaking hilarious. and he was kind of on the Liberace kick, the ultra flamboyant gay type of character. Well, actually, I don't think it was a character at all. But he was really funny comedian. Really funny. He's also a TV personality and was on a bunch of stuff. But I've seen his stand up several times in my life, and he was a funny guy. And he passed away at 88. The good thing that I'm seeing with not all, but a lot of these people that are passing away, they're passing away very old, and that's nice. Of course, we all die. I mean, you're not escaping it.
Chester loves it when old people die. Confirmed.
Well, I like it when people die old. Yeah, I mean, 88 years, that's a good long life, man. I mean,
Well,
and
Chester likes to know that there's another 40 years left in him. That's
that's
for sure.
right. That's exactly right. And I live in Japan. I might actually get 50. Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah, well, the Japanese live longer, dude, and there's a reason for it.
Konnichiwa. There you go.
Konnichiwa. Yeah, dude. There's no sadness for me here. It's a nice reminder of Rip Taylor because I hadn't really thought of Rip in many years. The first time I thought of Rip Taylor is when I was watching Ethan's show and he brought Cecil on for the first time because Cecil sounds just like Rip Taylor. I mean, straight up, right?
It could
Uh,
be his bastard, you know.
it might be. It might have been. Maybe if we don't see Cecil again, then we know why. But no, seriously, if you don't know who Rip Taylor is, just go watch Cecil, and sounds just like him, and it's similar type of humor actually. Almost as old as Chester. Thanks, Nick. But yeah, no. So I just want to say, happy journey, sir. You made a lot of people laugh and a lot of people happy, and yeah, he was a good man. So rest in peace.
Happy
An
trails, Rip.
Happy trails, man. And another person we lost as well, which once again, it's a much older person, so a lot of people might not know. This person was 80. Another long life, of course, Ginger Baker. Baker is a very famous drummer from the 70s, of course, with Cream and Blind Faith. And that's Eric Clapton. If you don't understand who that is, that he was playing with back in those days. But Ginger is a very famous drummer, well known, rock and roll Hall of Famer, of course. And he's passed away at 80. Another guy who's contributed something to culture with all the music and stuff they created. Once again, happy journeys, sir. And now, does anybody here other than me know who Cream and Blind Faith is? Anybody?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've studied Baker's riffs, man. I mean, he's like fundamental when it comes to learning rock on the drums. It's,
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, dude. And actually, Ginger Baker has had an influence on a lot of people. There's actually a several very famous drummers over here in Japan who I talked to just doing gigs and talk to them behind the back in the green room, right? And they've actually mentioned Baker. You know the interesting thing about the Japanese, which I didn't expect, the musicians of them are music aficionados, man. They know a lot more than I do about music history. Actually, it's quite interesting, actually, because I think they're actual music fans. Where me, I'm a musician, but I don't really listen to music much. Is that weird?
Yes. It's weird
That's
because
that's extremely weird. Even yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, it's like a musician refusing to listen to music.
I don't
I mean,
refuse to
well,
listen. I just don't do it
well,
much.
no, I mean, it gets to a point where it's like you're so involved in your craft that you're not, you know, following your contemporaries. You're forging your own path. You know, you'll talk to professional artists, and nah, they don't dwell on what other people are doing.
Yeah, I
For
don't,
one,
but
they don't want to be influenced by what other people are doing. They want to stay original, but also it's like the time is short. They want to spend it on their music and their own gig, but appreciate what other people are doing. It's
sure.
different.
No, no, I agree with that, and that I think that's normal for the musicians I've met. But here in Japan, they really are students of the art, which is normal for Japanese people, right? Like I've said several times, it took me a while to put a band together of people who actually could be of their own mind, because so many of the musicians here are a carbon copy of some famous person, like say Ginger Baker. Right, as for a drummer, or what's his name? I can never remember the absolutely amazing drummer from Led Zeppelin.
Bonham.
Bonham, yeah, that's it. Because I always want to say Bono, and I know it's not frickin' Bono, annoying guy.
No, and then what's his name from Jimi Hendrix backup band? What's that guy's name? He was incredible. Now I'm pulling a blank. So that
Yeah,
was
no,
another.
there are some really good ones. But we're not going to get into a huge list of great drummers. We want to show respect here to Ginger Baker. Very well known name in the music industry for sure. Asuka says, leave it to Japanese to one up Cheshire. Dude, all the time. I loved him on the Hollywood Squares. Yeah, that's right. He was on Hollywood Squares talking about Rip Taylor. We're not talking about Rip Torn. Rip Torn was died this year too, and we did cover that, right, Dinale?
Yep, in July.
Yeah. And that was a very, very different person, actually, to Rip Taylor. But once again, rest in peace, sir. Happy journeys and all those things. Once again, I'm not sad about it. Long life. This guy accomplished a lot. He's literally one of the few drummers who's a known name. There's so many drummers and good ones, but we don't know their names, but we know this guy. Yeah. A couple of sad news is there. A little bit. I don't know if it's that sad, but it's more of a nostalgia to remember their accomplishments, right? But moving
Right.
on to actual first news of today. I'm not going to dwell on this very much. We've kind of talked and given our opinion about this, but Joker's doing well. It's making money. Uh,
Oh, that's a good bit of money.
it is, yeah, especially with this type
Oh.
of film. But the thing I wanted to make my comment, and I'll let everybody here have their opinion as well, but because I haven't seen it myself, although a couple guys here have. My daughter has seen it.
Mhm.
I will be seeing it here in the next couple weeks, I'm sure. But I have been watching reviews and the people who I trust as far as reviewers go, and I finally figured out why the progressives, as I air quote, hate this movie so much. I finally figured it out. It's because it's not talking about incels or any of those other kind of Republican things. The whole action and stuff that's going on is basically it's Antifa. It's them. It's the Occupy Wall Street group. That's what there was being represented through the Joker. So basically, it's putting a bad light on them, and that's why they're jumping up and down on it. So now, at least
Mhm.
now, I
Mhm.
understand what all this stupid noise is about. Because from as far as I can tell, and these guys will give their opinions on it, but as far as I can tell, it's not very bloody. It's not particularly
Yep.
violent. It's a okay movie, and then it becomes a great movie in the third act. Joaquin Phoenix kicks absolute butt in it. But it's
Every
not a
scene he's on.
yeah,
Mhm.
but it's not a very controversial movie at all, actually. But now I understand why. So that's my take as far as I can go because I haven't seen it yet. So what about you, Booster? You've seen it.
I have seen it. I saw all of it, and it was it was a movie where when I walked out of the theater, I had to kind of process what I had just seen for a little while to figure out how I really felt about it because it is it's different, you know. You're not going to see a comic book movie. You're not going to see an action movie. You're barely even going to see much of a thriller. This is a drama film, a character study,
Yeah,
very
oh yeah,
slow, and it relies on its atmosphere for its acting and its very haunting soundtrack. It's got a gorgeous soundtrack. And yeah, I've seen a lot of people say that, oh, I walked out because it was too violent. There are 3 instances of blood splatter in this movie. He kills like really 5 people. And it's not actually that gory. I mean, for goodness sake, don't watch Silence of the Lambs if you think this movie is dark, right? Like,
right. No, true.
or anything like that. What else? These people can't seem to separate the idea of a protagonist and a likable character as well, right? They seem to think that just because this character is the protagonist, that we're supposed to be rooting for him, not realizing that the writer's sitting right next to you going, yeah, screw this guy, he's awful. Hey, you're not supposed to be rooting for this character. You're not supposed to be rooting for the people he's killing either. There are no good characters in this film.
Yeah,
Everyone here is awful.
yeah, which is kind of the point, right?
Everyone.
Yeah, that's cool. And George, you've seen it as well. What are you thinking?
Really well done. It reminds me of the psychological thrillers or psychological movies themselves, not thrillers, that I've seen in the past. 20, 30 years, 40 years. It's there's one joke in there that just made me laugh, and it was great. It was it's the Punch Out joke, and wow, throughout the 2 hours in that movie, I'm waiting for some humor to come about, and there was nothing there. I was waiting for some comedic relief to come out of it. There was nothing there. I mean, this take on the Joker is nothing compared to the great what's his name? I forgot the actor's name in The Dark Knight.
Oh, Heath Ledger. Yeah.
Heath Ledger. Yeah, this take on the Joker is night and day compared to Heath Ledger's Joker, and Heath Ledger's Joker is nothing compared to Jack Nicholson's Joker, and Jack Nicholson's Joker is nothing compared to the great Cesar Romero.
Oh yeah.
So we're talking about the same character, and the take on this character in this one is just brutally awesome. I mean, all the other Jokers, while they were
Jared Leto.
While they were completely
Oh no, we
different,
forgot him intentionally. It's
there
okay.
was a lot of humor in them, a lot of humor. There was no humor here. It's like they just literally went in and surgically killed every piece of humor out of this character, and it works. It's just absolutely
well, it's supposed to be
brilliant.
tragic, right?
Well, I don't care whether it's tragic. It's like this is just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Storytelling.
Well,
and the rumor that they repurposed the script and just put the Joker in there, I go, well done. Hey, you know what? Whatever it takes to get the story done and put onto the screen, hey, sure, go right ahead.
Mm-hmm. Well, another thing I've been hearing, Chris, I have to wait to see it, but what I've been hearing a lot of people saying is actually it's a fair origin story. It's not that bad actually for an origin story for the Joker.
It's good.
Not at all.
It's really good. I mean, it's meticulous. I mean, in terms of understanding who he is and where he comes from, you still don't know in this movie. It's not I'm giving you spoilers here. You still don't know, even though you're watching this. You're watching the meticulous detective work by the character Arthur Fleck to find out who he is. There's still a mystery.
Yeah, I've heard people say that as well, George. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it, dude. Now, Dinale, you have anything to comment on this before I move on to the next story?
Well, I think it's basically what we all said in the beginning.
Yeah.
That the biggest joke is that it's really not the Joker, but it is in its twisted way, and a lot of hoopla is coming from the media who changed the narrative from concerned citizens from that theater shooting to saying that they're protesting when they wasn't the case.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a reflection of the times, and it makes the post interviews from Todd Phillips that we were mentioning about saying that the woke culture doesn't allow him to make comedy, and this film is basically a response to what he sees right now.
Yeah, no, it's actually against them, dude. It sounds like this movie is the anti-SJW movie, actually, or
right.
at least to look at them anyway.
So when George was saying that, it kind of triggered in my mind. When George said it was surgically removed any sort of comedy, that is the comedy, because that's what the left and woke culture has done in these last couple of years.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing it, though. I really am. Asuka says it's nice to see they weren't trying to one up Heath Ledger like they did in Suicide Squad and failed, I might add. You don't have to try to one up Ledger. Just do something different and interesting. Absolutely. You know what? It kind of feels like
yeah,
to me.
That's right. I forgot there was a Joker.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about him.
Suicide Squad.
No, we don't need to talk
Oh,
about him.
forget.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about him,
He's a
George. Thank you.
non-issue.
Thank you, George. Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Stop. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Jared Leto did try, but it was pretty big failure, I'd say. But
I think he tried too hard. I think
maybe.
that's what I felt like was his problem.
Yeah, maybe.
You could kind of see him on screen trying too hard, and it made me cringe a little. It's like, oh.
Well, you know,
Dude.
as a lead in to the next story, it's kind of looking to me like the Joker is one of those characters that a great actor can take and try to make a career off of, actually. Because Heath Ledger was fun in many things we saw before, sure, but I never thought of Heath Ledger as being this amazing actor, and then he freaking came out with the Joker, dude, and of course, sadly, he died after that. But damn, right?
Yeah, what a
Joaquin
waste.
Phoenix as well. I mean, he's known as a good actor. It was a waste, dude. But it sounds like just a phenomenal performance. So it sounds like the Joker's a good character for a great actor to sink their teeth into. And therefore, that brings me to the next story, because the next story, I didn't put it in order. Is this it here? Yeah, here it is. This is an interesting thing here. Is this possible for this character to be something similar to the great acting opportunity that the Joker seems to be? What do you think about this, Dinale? Go ahead.
So I'll start with this. One of the pitfalls and things about Hollywood is when something is a success like the Joker, they're gonna do, continue that success, and doing a Lex Luthor doesn't make sense in the universe. An ultra realistic Lex Luthor could work, especially if you get a good actor like Bryan Cranston into the role, because everybody said it would be like a done deal, and he would kick it up a notch for that.
Although they talk about Ryan Gosling in here, just so you know.
Yeah, but I that's the actor I'm rooting for. In this case, Ryan
Gosling for Lex Luthor?
I could see it. I could see it. I mean, yeah, I could see it.
You guys know I freaking love Ryan Gosling, and I'd love for him to play Booster Gold if anyone in DC, but I don't know about Lex Luthor.
Yeah, but I think I'm also with Dinale though, because Bryan Cranston would absolutely kill Lex Luthor, dude. He would do that.
Right. But to answer your question, is spoiler alert for those who are not seeing it. Just skip my section, these few seconds, jump ahead if you're watching, or just mute me for a couple seconds. But spoiler alert, that movie ends ambiguous, where you don't know if the whole movie is actually a hallucination of him doing it, like the whole movie's fake. So it depends on the angle that they want to take it, because he's an unreliable narrator. So they do leave it open where you can do a sequel if you wanted to.
Oh, for a Joker.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That kind of harkens back to some, classic Joker, like Grant Morrison in The Killing Joke, where the Joker is like, reality is multiple choice, or his memories are multiple choice. He doesn't really know his origin or whatever. So, but seeing Warner Brothers go into a whole vein of villain movies is gonna, I don't know, for me it's not too appealing. I mean,
really, I kind of appeals to me though.
There's some top tier characters that would be good, but once you start spreading it out into a huge franchise, I mean, really, I don't know. But like Luthor, I could be appealing, but like Cheetah or Bizarro or
how about Ra's al Ghul?
Ghul could be great.
Ghul could be great. I mean, because they're sucking bad, dude. They're sucking wind. I mean, seriously, right?
Well, they are. They're like a giant vacuum.
Yeah, they are. So some character studies might be nice. Go ahead, Dinale.
Right. I was gonna say, talking one of the examples that you give Bill, Bizarro's actually could be a tragic Frankenstein horror-like movie if you think about it.
Or it could be like a good a comedy. It could be freaking hilarious too. Like a Deadpool-esque. Where Bizarro just goes to save people and he ends up turning them all into Jello or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's who's directing.
I feel like that kind of thing is a Bizarro character would be best suited for like a Looney Tunes short,
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, like a series of shorts. I think Bizarro would be perfect for.
Well, and you know the reason why I think Ryan Gosling might be better than Cranston is because Cranston would do a better job acting. I think. I don't know. Gosling is pretty good, but because you need, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to Lex Luthor, you need someone who's going to put their body into the most ultimate shape they can get into, and Ryan Gosling is capable of that, and Cranston's too old to
It's
do it.
funny you
Um,
say that because Lex Luthor has been depicted in a lot of ways. He's
yeah,
being depicted as buff as hell. He's being depicted as a very fat man and also a very slender man.
yeah.
Lex
And
Luthor is a very malleable character.
He is,
well,
but
and
here's the thing you
Gene
have to understand
Hackman.
about
I mean,
Lex
come on.
Luthor, though, is Lex Luthor's the whole thing about him is he's a human perfectionist. He's a human
Yeah.
speciesist, is what he is, and his whole thing is about Earth for humans, right? And that goes, so he's understandable in a way. He's not just evil for evil's sake. He's not insane like the Joker.
Mm.
He has purpose, and him being a human perfectionist and being in the perfect condition I think is the ultimate expression of Lex Luthor. Personally,
Mhm.
go ahead, Bill.
Well, I was going to say Gene Hackman, but I don't see him as a species as much as he doesn't want anyone better than him, and like he can't compete with Superman's
That pisses him
powers.
Well,
off.
So
there might
Mm.
be some ego
so
involved
he
as
turns.
well, but
So, yeah, he
his
Absolutely.
turns.
presented argument is as a speciesist, right?
Well, yeah, I mean that's in order to sell it, but
Yeah,
the whole thing is like, yeah, I mean he can't compete with the Superman. I mean
That
he's
reminds me
just
of a great moment from All Star Superman where he's getting Buffett in jail, right? And he says, "Yeah, Clark, look at that bicep." He's like, "You think
right.
Superman could achieve that by himself?" He's always going on about stuff like that. Yeah.
he is. Yeah,
Hmm.
because I think I understand the take that he there's ego in it, and that's his ultimate failure. But I think the character I feel Lex Luthor is truly believes what he says, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what
Right.
makes him
And,
great
He's
personally.
not
and I,
he's not insane or delusional.
No,
right.
It's the
And
idea
that,
that the superhumans will enable people, and therefore, we'd lose our drive to become better. Is that's one of the major messages I remember from reading the books,
mm,
and why he attacks the superhuman community.
yeah,
It's because they're going to take it out from under us. They're, if
no,
everyone can
that's right.
save the day for you, why do you need to even bother? There's no
It's
reason for human
it's
achievement, and
it's the
that makes him a really really compelling character right
it
there.
does. It does. And it fits right in
uh,
with what March Hare is saying here. They'll just
yeah,
make make him a Trump metaphor. And good,
he's
please
right.
do, because that would be perfect. There'd be a lot more people go watch it.
God, if they gave him the hair, that would be awesome. That would.
No, no
The
hair.
wig.
No
And
hair.
yeah,
Although I'm not dissing on Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman is a great actor. I love pretty much everything he's done. I love it. Matter of fact, one of our favorite movies in this household, mainly because my wife loves it, but then the whole family loves it as well, is Birdcage. And Gene
there you
absolutely
go.
kills it in that movie, as does Nathan Lane, as does Robin Williams. That is an awesome movie, and it's kind of ironic because that is a movie that is taking a look at a lot of the subjects that have come up these days, but looking at them in a fun way instead of the hateful thing we're seeing going on now. If you haven't seen The
So,
Birdcage, do yourself a favor.
so what would
Well,
you
one
actually do
favorite.
in a Lex Luthor movie, origin movie that has no Superman in it? What would you do in this movie?
I would have Superman and all the other where is it DC? So metahumans that are in the backdrop, news and things like that. And I wouldn't have them as a actual character that's interacting. I would have
Hmm.
Lex Luthor just getting more and more frustrated with all these
Yes.
non-humans, these unpure things moving around, and him becoming motivated to do something about it.
Well, I think
Because if
Booster's
we
idea was
did a
like, what if you took the whole meta-human like theme out of the Lex Luthor story? How do you still
Hmm.
make that
Exactly,
so
that's what
that
I'm
so it's a
asking.
standalone like
Well,
the Joker?
it's easy. Yeah, when about taking the Trump metaphor, you have everything that you need with the Democrats' delusions. It's all there.
Right.
Because
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, this just sounds like a very boring like political film or something like that. Like I don't
Well,
know.
that, that
Joker works on like the
that's
psychological level, but
no, no,
Luthor, I don't
but
see it working by himself as man.
well,
you don't know. Hold on.
mhm.
There, you're missing. You're still focused on one aspect of Lex Luthor. If you look
Mm.
at Lex Luthor throughout the publishing history, There's Lex Luthor, the evil super genius who gets in his own Iron Man outfit and does stuff. There's Lex Luthor, who's in a three-piece suit and does everything behind the scenes, like a just an evil genius. And there's Lex Luthor, the insane mad scientist. There's just so many aspects of the character that you can actually play within one movie. That's incredible.
What if you took and you did more of like a V movie, a Guy Fawkes type of movie where he's coming from the shadows but he's also in the public eye, kind of like the reverse of Batman, right?
Yeah,
Well, that could be
that'd
interesting
be freaking awesome.
It would be.
because he's the ultimate capitalist, right? And
Oh, yeah,
so
that's
what
true.
would be his arch enemy would be socialism, right? Or and so there's a lot to play with there. And actually, that kind of brings me back to one point about the Joker, about its overall theme that you all commented on, was how it is really kind of a shot at the censorship of the left. And I think we're going to see more and more of that as people are so oppressed and tired of being shut down, and don't want to be part of the hive mind.
Yeah. Well,
And so it'll eventually turn around, and you'll see a whole new set of art, of movies and books and so on, that are really pushing counter to this whole.
Matter of fact, I'm so excited about it. I'd like to write it. Matter of fact, you guys should start a hashtag Chester writes Lex Luthor movie. That's how you do that, right, Booster? You write hashtag in front of it, and it becomes real, right?
No.
Well, use a hashtag, or
that's
use
not how
that
anything
one.
works.
It's ampersand now. It used to be hashtag. Now it's ampersand.
Is it? Yeah, I never understood. It's a
Yeah.
pound symbol. I'm an American, not British. Damn it. But anyway, let me check some of the things here in the chat, because there's some interesting comments we haven't covered yet. Let's see here. And Joshua was asking what could Alexa movie be about, which we just went into our opinions. Of course, we'd love to hear yours as well. Anyone but Jesse Eisenberg. Anyone. True.
I refuse to
Very
acknowledge
true.
him as Lex.
Yeah.
He is Lenny Luthor.
That was pretty bad. It's not his fault. The director let him get away with it. It's the director's responsibility.
Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent.
Was that the Batman Superman Lex Luthor?
Yeah, it was pretty horrible.
Yeah, I didn't even see that movie.
Yeah, you're probably smart. I saw it in theaters, and my kids were not happy, especially my daughter. She's a big Batman fan, and she was not pleased.
Bit of trivia for you. Ben Affleck's Batman kills more people than Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he does. Yeah, I'm sure he does.
That's why that movie's always wrong on so many levels.
Yeah. It is. Yowza Comic says, I sensed you guys were live, so here I am. Well, thank you very much, Yowza. Let's see here. Gene Hackman, Best Lex. He was fun. He was certainly fun. Ed Harris, interesting. March Harris says, they'll just make, already covered that one, Luthor a Trump metaphor. I think it's a good idea. Is Luthor a globalist? I would say no. Trump 2020. There you go. Bruce Willis is bald. He could do it. Well, I don't know. It's kind of hard. Bruce is barely alive now. I mean, I'm here. It's kind of like that. So we don't want a Bruce Willis in anything. Birdcage is a great movie. It's very pro-family, though. Yeah, it is. It's awesome. Birdcage kicks ass. Yells Comics. How did Luthor get his armor? He built it. He's of course, originally Lex Luthor had red
Origin
hair,
story done.
and he was
Move
a
on.
scientist. Yeah, I'm just reading the chat, dude. Nick says,
if you want to think about it, you could pluck Tony Stark from the MCU, make a movie of him as Lex Luthor, make him bald, and make him the villain.
He already is the villain.
That would suck, though, Dinale. That would suck. That would be just like not even unique, I mean, you could take it generalities, and make him like he's brilliant and he's like,
But no. What I'm trying to get at is that everybody's like saying, what is he? He's basically Tony Stark, except not. He's bald, basically. If you want to think in generalities. That's what Lex Luthor is, and he's focused on.
Wow.
Sorry.
Yeah. All right,
Let me focus on.
Dinale, let me
Yeah,
get through the chat real
go
quick.
go
All
go
right,
go
let
go
me get through
go
it.
go
Okay.
go go.
Nick C
All right.
says, in PC continuity, Luther killed his female martial arts instructor for one-upping him. Yeah, okay. Ed Harris is Lex Luthor, says Cult Film Videos. March here seems to me Joker is a mirror being held up to the screeching neo-Puritans. Yep, seems so. Kuzmedi says, Bruce Willis is barely alive? I'd say so. Have you seen a movie with him recently? He emotes at a pace of once per hour. So I'd say that's barely alive. And before we move on to the next thing, I just want to say this Eddie Murphy movie here, The Dolomite, looks awesome.
Mhm.
I can't wait to see it. But let's move on
There
to
you go.
the next one here. Let's
Yeah,
see
so
here.
far the reviews for Dolomite's been coming positive
Yeah, well, it
from what
looks
I've.
great, dude. Now, let's move on to something very, very, very different. We're going to cover a little bit of video games here. Now, this is a company, Tencent. Now, if you guys don't know anything about Tencent, they're a Chinese company that needs to have large nukes dropped upon them. That's how I'll kind of sum it up. And they just
Yeah,
put out the movie. It's on Netflix. I think it's called Shanghai Fortress, and it basically is them trying to sell a movie with extremely bad CG, sell like a video game, sorry, with extremely bad CG. But this Chinese conglomerate, of course, has a is bad. And we're going to go over some of the games that they have here that they've kind of taken over, bought, or absorbed because they don't really make anything, do they? Go ahead,
So
Denali.
it,
is this like Huawei anime?
In a way, yeah. Go ahead, Denali.
yeah.
In a way, it's
I
Huawei
was gonna
anime.
say Tencent also invested in Terminator: Dark Fate as
Oh
well,
yeah,
and some other movie
yeah.
coming out
Well, they're throwing a
before
lot
that.
of money around, at least recently, yeah.
Mhm.
But of course, we have Riot Games League of Legends. Of course, League of Legends is legendary. It's a MOBA, of
As a
course. That
game that I wasted quite a few years on.
Yep, a lot of people did, dude. And there's a lot
Yeah.
of money to be made for it.
Hey, it's a
Actually,
free game I spent over $1,000 on.
yeah, right.
Congratulations. So is this
Uh,
state-run company or?
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure,
all
yeah,
companies in China are state-run.
yeah.
So
yeah,
it's the Red Army anime. It's the
yep,
There you go. But of course, they spent $400 million here to pick up the remainder of League of Legends, and therefore, I think they own all of it now. And of course,
yep.
it made $1.4 billion last year. Still going strong. Still a lot of esport competitions. It's still a big deal. Even though Riot Games went under a lot of attack for being far too male from the progressives, League of Legends still storms forward. We have Epic Games, which of course we know the controversy going on with Epic Games. Epic basically came out as a competition to Steam, and they did it in all the wrong way by just spending tons of money and getting exclusives and pulling in so many exclusives over to their side that it really kind of ticked off the video game community. And of course, it's just an absolute debacle going on. A lot of these companies took that money that Epic was offering through Tencent, of course, and they basically betrayed their fans. And one of the biggest ones was Shenmue 2 or 3 or whatever it is, Shenmue
Three.
3. And
Yeah.
of course, they completely betrayed their fans and the people who had that big giant Kickstarter to support them, and they just sold out. Is what it comes down to, and
Hmm.
that's probably the biggest one recently. I've heard people going on, but Epic, that's a if you pay attention to video games, this whole Epic versus Steam thing has become a big deal. Blue Hole, Players Unknown Battleground, of course. PUBG has was being played quite a bit for a while, but of course Fortnite is really the one that's taken over, and of course they own a
Another
huge
game
chunk
I
of that as
wasted
well.
time on.
Well, they
Uh,
own that as well, dude.
Yep.
Fortnite. And actually, the interesting thing to me, it's sad because when I talk to the kids in my classes, I ask them, what do you do on the weekend, or just something to get some kind of English conversation out of them, right? And they don't go out and play much anymore. They don't go swimming. They don't. All they do is play video games, right? And the number one video game I hear come out of the mouth of all these little kids, and I'm talking about elementary school kids, is Fortnite. And I'm like, your parents let you play that? Now hold on a second. They're elementary school kids playing Fortnite all over the place. It is what it is. Ubisoft. Now they don't know much of Ubisoft, but we know Ubisoft is absolutely got woke, and they've paid Lots of punishments for it.
That used to be a good decade ago. Ubisoft used to be a sign of a quality game.
That's
They
right.
went down the shitter hard.
Yes, they did, dude. Yes, they did.
Ever since they started pumping out Assassin's Creed games and every single game just being the same kind of open world with a lot of things to do and towers to climb up. Every game.
Yeah. Well, Yves, of course, the French guy who's the creator of and owner of Ubisoft, or at least somewhat of the owner of Ubisoft. He's always been very liberal, and Ubisoft has always been very liberal, but it was in a fun way, right? It's no problem. But these days they've just completely progressive, got woke. It's
Did you
insane.
guys play Prince of Persia by Ubisoft? Man, that was some good games.
Yeah, it was, dude. And now we're just wokeness on top of wokeness, and of course, they're paying the price for it, dude. But Activision Blizzard, of course, we know all the stuff going on with Blizzard and all the trouble with their the various activities that are starting to hurt them on the back end, which is unfortunate because Blizzard is a concrete name in gaming, dude. Not just WoW, of course, but they're starting to crack at the seams because Activision is one of these stupid companies that is super woke and is very interested in penny pinching the hell out of you, dude. Right? Right? They own 80% of Path of Exile. You do not know how much that disappoints me because I'm worried. Path of Exile is an excellent game, dude.
So
New Zealand game.
Is there any gaming company that's not woke now? Are they all
Oh,
woke?
sure. CD Project Red. I would say
What do
even
they
Riot
make?
Games still isn't 100% yet.
Is CD Project Red, is that stateside or is that just
Rockstar. See, no, that's in Poland.
Poland, yeah.
You got
Does Hungary have
Rockstar.
any video games?
What do you say?
Hungary? Any out of Hungary?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything like that. Of course, CD Projekt Red is the one that made The Witcher. They got the Cyberpunk 2077 coming up. But Path of Exile is such a good game. I hope they don't screw that one up. They're Supercell, Frontiers, Cacao here. I don't know what this is. Paradox, of course. Paradox does Surviving Mars and a lot of those kind of city builder type things. They're pretty good at it. You have Vermintide, which was a big hit, which they own 30. Look at their percentages. Tencent has bought everything, dude.
Man.
Vermintide 2 actually is a lot of people are talking about. But Vermintide was a lot of fun. Conan Exiles and Secret World, both those things kind of bombed out though. They own 100% of Shark Mob. Of course, that's the division, right? And Hitman, and of course they've taken a lot of flack as well. Then of course Discord.
They own Discord?
They put a lot of money into it, dude.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's interesting. This is very different than the stuff we do, guys. But don't you guys have phones? Call of Duty Mobile is where it's at. Yeah, I just saw
Don't
it.
you
I haven't
guys have
played
phones?
it yet. I haven't played it yet.
Blizzard has lost their damn way.
Yeah. No, they have, dude, and Tencent is absolutely part of it. And the funny thing is they will play on that SJW stuff when you know they could care less about it. The Chinese do not care one thing about political correctness, dude. They only care about
no
money.
Kidding.
Yeah.
And that's why you see a big push through these companies. Let's do mobile games. Let's do mobile games, guys. Well, now you know a big factor of one of the major stakeholders pushing that mobile game aspect.
Oh yeah, it's like
the
Diablo,
latest.
It's
you guys got to see the latest episode of South Park.
Chinese Red Army. It's all being pushed by the Chinese Red Army. Just so you know.
That's true. Go ahead, Booster.
That's
the latest episode of South Park was just mocking how much of these companies pander to China to do everything, right? They're like, okay, we got to do this, and then, oh, would you look at that?
Go ahead, Dinale.
Yeah, so Booster leading us into from IndieWire. South Park removed from Chinese internet altogether after critical banned in China episode, which was last Wednesday episode, where they were highly critical of China and people going over to China to get money, like Disney and all the Hollywood studios, where the foreign domestic box office to make or break of their films are pandering to the Chinese because there's a lot of them to make up for the lack of interest statewide.
Yeah. Well, we know how China does. They're like that. You do realize that one of the other things that the Chinese premier has done, because there's a lot of people here in Asia who mock him, because he kind of looks like Winnie the Pooh. He's like always like this dull-faced type of looking guy, so they call him Pusan over here.
Does,
And he hates it
does he
so
not?
much that he banned Winnie the Pooh in China.
That
Let me
is
Because he
repeat
doesn't
that.
wear
hilarious.
pants.
He
He doesn't wear
right.
pants, does
He
he?
banned Winnie the Pooh in China. But yeah,
That's
China,
so
wonderful
funny.
stuff. Wonderful stuff.
That's a sign of pure evil.
Oh yeah.
With,
Well, he made himself dictator for life.
you know, that's
Yeah.
gonna have to change as soon as
Well,
Winnie the Pooh fawn
well,
comes
the funny
around.
thing is the West doesn't cover what's going on in China. They don't, because there's so many of these Western companies that have so much money invested in China. They don't want the media talking about it, right?
Well, it's
But
not only that; it's all our politicians who have like those little foundations
oh
that
yeah,
are just deep pockets in China, and that's how they all leave office with multimillionaires.
oh yeah,
It's
no,
because
no,
they sold
absolutely.
everything off to China.
Well, Hunter Biden, which everyone was talking about Ukraine thing, he made a lot more money in China, dude, with that whole
Well, and that
deal that Biden has hooked up.
yeah, and that's just the only one that's up, and that's the reason why you don't see. That's why you have never Trumpers. I'm telling you, man, because they don't want to get dug up. They want Trump out before they get busted.
Oh
But
yeah, it's
anyways,
coming, dude. It's coming.
Yeah.
It is. And I told you guys before, that's one of the main things they're after him about. Is has nothing to do with political correctness or getting woke or any of these kind of SJW things. It's a front. The reason they're going after Trump is because they want Americans to be nothing but eaters. They want you to be consumers. They don't want you to make nothing. They want you to go have some stupid little service job and spend all your money on stuff so they can make more money. Trump's come in and said, "Now the hell with all that. America is a premier production country, and we're going to go back to making stuff." And that's why they're on him. That's why they're at him. That's the main 100% reason. And of course, China is a big
that's
part
what
of that
I.
because they put all their money over there to make cheap, super cheap products. And unlike some place like Mexico, right? Because we've seen many places in Mexico and South America where people are starting to make money, right? And of course, they have trouble because the cartels will come in and start threatening people and take money and stuff. We know it's an absolute disaster down south of the border, but they're actually starting to make money and lift themselves out of poverty in certain areas. In China, you don't have to worry about that because the government mandates who gets to be wealthy and who doesn't. So you can always have a low cost manufacturing situation, right? So that's why China's perfect. That's why you say, why would they do it? It's such a horrible government. Well, they do it because of that, right? They don't have to
If
worry about
only
them becoming wealthy.
if only China didn't have nukes, man, it would be all taken care of.
Actually, I'm not even worried about that. But the interesting thing that says over here is that Hong Kong rules, free Hong Kong. I agree 100%. We're all rooting
Right?
for Hong Kong here. And the Chinese people hate the SJW crap. Well, it's not just Chinese. Asians in general can't take that kind of stupidity because, the Chinese and the Japanese and the Koreans and the Thai, et cetera, they're very pragmatic people, right? And they understand that we are a symbiotic species that needs each other, male and female. So why would they try to get rid of half the population or hold them down? It doesn't make any sense. But nevertheless, South Park, good on you. You two guys are still relevant, which is shocking to me, but they are. So
It is a very
interesting.
funny episode too, and Winnie the Pooh is a character in it.
Yeah. Is he? Yeah, well, because they're making
Yeah.
that joke, dude. They're making that joke.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't really think because we don't have much time, so I don't want to spend much time on this. But it sounds like Patrick Stewart almost turned down Star Trek Picard. I don't believe it for a second.
Nope.
Edward Norton says Marvel went back on its word over Dark Hulk film. Yeah, well, sure, probably. I don't even know what this article is about. But is there anything really interesting to touch on here, dude?
Uh, Basically, they were supposed to make a gritty film where he became Professor Hulk in this next film, but he wanted more grim and dark. And they said nope. And he said, "Okay, I don't want to do it." And they said, "Okay,
Hmm.
see ya."
Well, I didn't mind Norton's Hulk. Did you guys like it or not like it?
It was an alright movie. I kind of wanted something more of that because rather than another cookie cutter jokey Marvel movie, because Hulk should be a very tragic character.
Yeah, he's a monster. I mean, that's
Yes.
Yeah.
It
the whole
was
character.
I
a
also
great
hear that Edward Norton's insufferable to work with, so that's
Oh,
always a
yes.
problem.
Absolutely. Yeah.
but it was a great take on the old Hulk TV show.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's the tragic monster kind of
Yeah.
storyline. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, I liked it actually. I thought it was better than the one they made before. What was that James Wan version or something like that? I liked it, but they cut that in the they cut that down real quick. And Norton's attitude and difficulty, I think, is a major issue as well. And March here says they want us to be like the people in Wall-E. Yeah, dude. That's exactly what they want. Matter of fact, Wall-E seems to be kind of a little bit of a statement on the state of affairs at the time, isn't it?
Yep.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. We're now waking up. Wally's helping us. The machines
Yeah.
making us rise up again.
The Hulk hasn't been done right since Bigsby and Lou Ferrigno. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
that
would
was a great
agree.
show. Just
Nope.
imagine if they had the tech in that show to give us to just polish it up just a bit. Really, I wouldn't say much, but just polish it a little bit. That would be legendary show, man. But let me see here if anything else we want to cover. Oh, whatever. Did someone die?
No, nobody dies, but this is a multi-million-dollar ride gondola transport that was not needed, but it was done in expectation that people would be using it because of Galaxy Edge, and it broke down in less than a week,
I
6
see.
days actually, and people were trapped in it, so they had to call the
Ooh,
cops and fire department to remove
ooh,
it.
not good.
Yikes.
It looks
Yeah,
fun though.
yeah, it looks
Denali.
I
Instead of
like
Wally.
I like those kind of things there.
yeah,
They're fun. All right, so yeah, no one got hurt, but just more Disney troubles at their parks, man. Disney
yeah.
needs to buckle down and figure some stuff out, dude. We covered this.
Yep.
This right here. Now, this is. Let me see if this other one. I don't care about this one so much.
Mhm.
Is there anything we need to say about this at all?
Basically, that it was announced that they're doing a new generation of superheroes that's being spearheaded by Bendis, and they're opposed. One of the reasons why Jonathan Kent was made into a young adult teenager was for this reason, to be the new Superman. And
Yeah,
What's he
no.
doing to Lois? They're
Uh,
gonna
yeah.
make baby?
Maybe he got to make a baby. But March
that's
here,
what
I agree 100%, dude.
Yeah, make the Chinese happy. He's gonna be a producer.
Cool. All right. I need to. I'll be back in a second. But I'm going to leave it on this article right here. And
Okay.
I definitely have something to say about this. But you guys will go ahead and comment on that, and I'll be back in a minute.
All
I
right.
don't know
So
anything about it.
anything about Dylan's darling?
I don't know what Dylan Dog is. I don't know who James Wan is, but that's pretty cool art.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Converse.
Well, let's see. Dylan, I mean, if I remember, used to be a horror story. It's a horror series like Tales from the Crypt Keepers, and is featuring this main character, which is Dylan Dog. And it's actually it's one of those old Italian pulpy comics. So it's kind of interesting that James Wan, who is known as producer for horror, is making a TV show based off an Italian horror comics where they kind of investigate and all that. It's just I'm not sure where he wants to go.
It's coming to
Whichever one
American
go.
television. So you're taking an
Yeah,
Italian comic and it's going to come to the American audience. That's cool. That's
yeah,
new. So there's a huge, vast, untapped resource there of European. I mean, you go from just the Italian graphic novels to in the French. I mean, there's just hundreds of thousands, millions of pages of artwork and storylines that could just be would take really like Disney's Marvel to task. I mean, there's just
yeah.
blows
I
you away.
mean, they did do a movie with Brian Rolfe back in 2011, but that flopped hard. He was still fighting that movie, the last movie he did, which was Superman. and they kind of say, "Oh, it's the failed Superman guy." So that movie didn't do so well. But yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
that's a hard one to drop. That's a hard stigma to lose. I did Superman.
yeah,
I was the guy who did Man of Steel and Superman versus Batman, and they lost Warner Brothers a lot of money, and I destroyed an entire like movie continuity possibility. So can I have a job? Yeah,
yeah.
sure. If your dad's Joe Biden, no problem.
Oh boy.
I
What
don't
else you
care for
got,
Bendis.
Bendis?
I
Well,
don't care for what he's done to DC. He's
Yeah, I haven't read a single thing out of DC from Bendis. I liked his
okay.
stuff back in like the early '90s or mid '90s, like his Powers and Jinx, and that was fun. And then his early Marvel Knights stuff was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then it
I
started to
didn't.
get a little
Yeah.
bit too much like watching Dawson's Creek in a comic book, and I was just like, that's
Oh,
not what
right.
comic books are about. It's about action, and you know, superhero comics are all about action in your face, crazy soap opera stuff, but not mundane, you know, who slept with who, and let me get a commentary about the Wasp personality. You know, I don't care.
Yeah.
Eh.
No, I prefer more of the 70s, 80s Superman. 90s, I don't. After the death of Superman, it just broke the character for me. That it was like, you know, whatever you're trying to do, whatever, it just made it. It wasn't the same Superman after that event.
No,
For all
I mean,
intents and purposes.
John Byrne did a great job, but at the same time, having him like wipe out all other Krypton stuff kind of killed all. DC never really figured out what to do with like the Legion and with Superboy and all the Supergirl and all that stuff. So it took them like 20 years to figure it out. One creator can throw a wrench into it like that because there's
Oh
no
yeah,
forethought.
it's very
Yeah.
true. Did you guys covered the Dresden File thing here?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Just I don't know what these guys said. Of course, most people know this is Dresden File, not Dylan Dog, but this is one of my favorite European books. I've been reading this probably since it came out, I'd say, and I just love the character. And they're going to make a TV show now. We know they tried it before. The Dresden Files TV show was out, and I absolutely loved it. I can't believe they canceled that. It was so fun. It was such a good show. So they're going to try it again. It looks like they're going to come at it from more of a European point of view, I suppose. But James Wan making a TV show, let's give it another try. I think it's awesome. What did you guys say about it?
I don't
We
know. I have
said
a
that.
hard time. Oh, go ahead, Denali.
I was gonna say we said that this was made in the movie 2011 by Brandon Rolfe,
They
but it
did.
kind of flopped because it was Brandon Rolfe and he was coming off of the failed Superman flick by Bryan Singer.
Yeah, but even that was
So
pretty good though. I like that too.
no, I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm saying it flopped because people still had, unfortunately, continue associating the actor as the failed Superman, and they didn't give it a real chance.
Yeah, I hope it's cool, dude. Because and it keeps coming back because it's such a great character. It's such a great story. For me, it's very similar to the Constantine thing. Booster and I were talking about it the other day. We both love
Mhm.
Constantine, and the TV show was really good. I really liked it, but it got canceled. The Dresden Files got canceled. There's a season of it. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a lot of fun. But actually going with the Roth take on Dylan Dog, I think would be a fun direction to go, actually.
I don't know. I might give it a shot, but I have a hard time with your television recommendations because you don't like The Office.
Well, no,
He
I
doesn't
do
like the
like The
American.
Office. I just
He
don't like
just
the
Did
doesn't
you?
like
American
the.
one.
Yeah,
You don't like the American one?
No,
yeah.
and it's weird because I'm a huge Carell fan. I love that guy. But that TV show it's dry humor. It's not funny. I don't
It's
like
not.
it at all, dude. I
Oh,
hate that
I don't
show.
like it when Americans adapt English comedy.
Yeah.
You guys did it to death at a funeral, and I'm still not forgiving you for that one.
Yeah, no. The Ricky
yeah,
Gervais
but
version is far superior, dude. I mean, like 1,000 times more.
poor soulless bastards.
Oh God, but I do, like I said, I love Carell, and I was
Yeah,
really
you have to watch
surprised.
it. You have to watch it after season one because the first season they just really mimic all the British shows, and then season 2, they really take on like the characters that are there, and it's freaking brilliant.
Well, no, that's
But
fair. I
anyway,
didn't get to season 2 because I couldn't get through the absolute disaster that season 1 was. But the thing is, Americans don't do dry British humor right. They just don't. They don't
no,
get it.
no.
Right? Because the thing with British humor is the British are very extremely self-deprecating people, right? And they do it so well. And the Americans, we're Americans. We're one of the thing that's interesting about Americans living outside of America so long and looking back is a lot of people say Americans are arrogant, and yeah, of course they are. Every culture is arrogant in one way or another, but Americans are arrogant, but it's an ignorant arrogance. They don't understand they're being arrogant because everything in America is yay America, and they live in America. They don't go outside of America. Everything's America. It's just this positivity. We can do anything. That's kind of one of the things that shocks the Japanese for me living over here, right? Because I will go and try things. I'll build a new business, or I'll do this, or I'll do that, and they're like, "Why are you taking that risk?" They don't understand it, and I'll go in just charge it. And of course, in the end, I have some failures and I have some successes too. They don't understand that thinking, right? It is just a natural American way to just do it. And Therefore, when it comes to comedy, we don't do that well. We just don't. And I think that's the major failure of The Office, dude, in my opinion. No,
It's a
wow,
lot to
I
unpack.
hushed the
But
entire panel.
no, I mean, there's a lot to unpack on there because like you're going into the whole like mannerism of Americana just
Yeah.
to define why you don't like The Office. I mean, but that's cool. I think um, The Office is good because it's America, and that's all I need to know.
All right. Cool. Uh,
Boom.
yeah.
All right.
Boom. Boom.
Okay.
And double boom. But anyway, that's all the news we had for today.
What? One more, just one more quick one, and it's related to the news. So, official apology to China from uh, Parker and Matt Stone. Like the NBA, we welcome the Chinese censor into our home and into our hearts. We too love money more than freedom and democracy. She doesn't just look like Winnie the Pooh at all. Tune in to our 300 episode. This one's at 10 p.m. Long live the great Communist Party of China. May this autumn festival be bountiful. We good now, China?
Sweet. Claps, claps, claps. You
That's
know,
good.
those two
I love
guys
these
have
guys.
never
Yeah.
given one flip, dude. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
They've always kept that, and that's the cool thing about them.
They
Uh,
stick to their guns as well. They're
that's
awesome.
right. Yeah.
They're
One
the
more
only
guy.
ones who had the balls to try and show Muhammad in that Family Guy episode, and it was Comedy Central that caved in with that one. These guys have some balls, and they hate being censored.
Oh yeah, they don't.
One,
Yeah.
one more news. Kathleen Kennedy is going to be out in 2021, and Feige is going to officially take over Star Wars.
So who's going to take over Marvel?
I don't know. Maybe they're just going to promote up from within.
Okay, everybody, let's do this hashtag thing again. Hashtag Chester takes over Marvel. Do it. Get on it.
That's not happening.
Make it
Yeah.
viral.
It
'Cause
just
I'd fix
won't be a
that.
thing.
I'd fix it. I'd fix it. Right.
Oh no.
I'd rather see Don Knotts in charge of more Star Wars, man.
Hey, Don Knotts, he's an awesome guy. Rest in peace, I'm sure. He must have died like 50 years ago. I love Don
Barney
Knotts,
Fife
dude.
forever.
Well, you don't
He's
think
greater
I
than
do?
Canada.
You don't think I could do a good job, Bill? Come on.
No, you definitely do a great job. You'd be fantastic.
Uh-huh.
Puff, puff, polish, polish.
Well, I'd
No, you're
fire a lot of people day one. I tell you that.
totally.
Let me see here. We got some comments from the chat before we get out of here. Let's see. The Shadow is superior to Batman, and Doc Savage is superior to Superman. Well, the Shadow is a
Oh
lot of fun.
no.
Although I think the modern completed vision of Batman is more entertaining personally. Doc Savage is superior to Superman. Well, it's easier to write Doc Savage stories, I think. But I personally love Superman. What do you think about that, Booster?
I don't agree at all. I love those characters.
Yeah, but I like the Shadow and Doc Savage too, though.
I love Batman and Superman.
Mm,
It's apples and oranges, really, with Doc Savage and
Mm-hmm.
Superman. But
that's true. That's true. Wild Food says, I have heard it said that Germans too are mortified of failure and don't try new things easily. Well, I really don't know. Never lived there, but I do know that the Germans, if they are going to do something, they plan it out to the nth degree, and maybe that's why they're so successful at it. March here says, "Who said we're arrogant?" I bet it was the French. I'm going. Well, I'm sorry, March. Let me reread that. Who said we're arrogant? I bet it was the damn French. Well, they can stuff a baguette right in their catacombs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, every culture has their arrogance, dude. But I mean, America's arrogance is really almost an innocent arrogance in many ways. It's quite interesting when you look at the psychology of it. Actually,
it's
uh,
deep rooted in incredible success.
it is. It's exactly true, right? And the simple ability for Americans to look past the even potential of failure and just dive in head first. Now, of course, that means a lot of Americans literally die in a blazing fire of glory in their
Yep.
attempt at stuff, but they also come up with just absolutely amazing successes. Bullet says Japan, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down, right? Right. It's quite interesting that this culture, it's this proverb, this idiom, is quite the opposite of what we Americans live upon. The squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? It's literally the opposite, and of course that's one of the things that makes Japan what it is. Is that very proverb right there? Good job, Bullet. Cult Film Video says you're wrong. Most English aren't funny. Canadians are the real MVPs. Well,
Ugh.
I exhibit one faulty towers, but
Can
exhibit
we
two.
ban that person for life?
No, we can't. But Canadian. No, to be fair, Canadians are very funny, and they have some really good actors. We bust on Canada a lot, but Canada has a lot of talent.
They're okay.
William
Okay.
Shatner, Lauren Green, um,
SCTV.
Oh, dude, the list is
that's,
huge, dude. Yeah,
yeah,
Uncle Buck.
Ryan Gosling.
yeah.
Oh no.
No, no.
Cool. All
Booster,
right.
your hetero life mate is from Canada.
Huh?
No.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you
All
very
right.
much for coming and joining us today. Of course, we really appreciate it. Do keep in mind that tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Bugbear's Basement. Well, we will be continuing on the Moonshay Isle RPG we're doing there with the D&D stuff. Of course, Bill is part of that, and they are going to be going in deep into enemy territory. Will they live? Will they
Bum,
survive?
bum,
How many will
bum.
die? Will one of them get sold into slavery? We'll
I'm
see.
telling you, if you kill me, I come back as a gnome.
No, I've already got one halfling to kill. I don't need no damn gnomes. Chris,
Insurance.
you know what would be funny though, Bill, if we did a campaign where it was all halfling and gnomes.
Everyone was under 3 feet tall.
Yeah. It would be hilarious, and everyone's just taking the piss constantly. But anyway, definitely come back for that, guys. Keep in mind, of course, we have Drone Recorded Fan Edition this week, other than our normal shows, and also coming up at the end of the week or the beginning of the week, I guess it depends how you look at it. Where Sunday. We are going to be doing a TFT, Tinfoil Talk, and we're doing Hollow Earth. Ooh, that's going to be a lot of fun. And if you guys want to be part of that and you want to get into the conversation of Hollow Earth, you feel, hey, I know a lot about that, then definitely come on and let me know down at the Twitter that you want to be part of that, and we'll put you on the show. We do have a guest coming on Wednesday. Booster, why don't you go ahead and introduce that?
Hmm?
We have a guest
All
coming on
right.
Wednesday.
All right, we have Crypto Comics to show off his project Megawatt versus the Vampire and the Suns.
Ooh, that sounds fun. That
So,
sounds
yeah,
fun.
mm-hmm.
Just a quick other off reference here before I hand this over to Denali. That I actually sat with my wife last night and I watched a Netflix program. Now, Netflix It's been more disappointing than not recently, especially the past couple year and a half. But there's a new anime, it's not even, I wouldn't call it anime. It's a Western animation actually. But they came out from them, and we know they've been doing a big push on original anime stuff. Some's good, some's not. This one was called Sis Menos, which of course is Mexican for Six
Oh,
Hands.
on Netflix. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
that. How was it?
It was excellent. It was really
Oh.
excellent. It took me a little bit to get used to the art because it wants to be like Avatar: The Last Airbender type of art, but it kind of falls short. But you get used to it pretty quickly, and it's
It
fine.
kind of looks a bit cutesy, but then it's like ultra violent. It's a little
It
jarring to me.
is super
Yeah.
violent. Yeah,
What's it called?
it's called Sis Manos.
Sis
Face
Manos.
Manos.
Yeah, it's basically kung fu in Mexico, which sounds weird, but it's not. It's actually a great show. It's got and it has some strong female characters in it, but they're done right.
No.
Well, no, because they're strong and motherly, actually, as they should be. It's a pretty good show, man. I mean, I guess there were a couple of cringy moments in it, but not much, dude. It was pretty solid. They laid out a really good first season. The story is pretty good. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it was pretty good, and they set themselves up for a season 2 beautifully. And the action in it is really good when they have it going on. So if you guys haven't seen Cis Manos, definitely go check it out. I know this is a weird concept, kung fu in Mexico, but it works, dude.
How do you spell it?
Cis, as in six. SEIS and
SEIS.
manos, MANOS,
Manos.
hand, six hands.
Seis
Cis
manos.
manos. Yeah,
Sis Manos.
Seis manos, mi amigos.
yeah,
Hands up, don't shoot me.
Si yo tengo un acento de verdad.
yeah. But I mean,
see.
go check it out. It's pretty good. But anyway, other than that, Dinale, take us out of here.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for Comics News today. Join us tomorrow for Bugs Bear Basement at 8 p.m. Eastern as we try to see if Chester will kill all his players. Join us for the rest of the week for all of our shows, which will be definitely interesting and insightful somehow or another, or we'll totally burn and crash. Whichever options, it's all good. We're here to entertain. But as always, your perception shapes your reality, so always make it a good one.
Namaste.
Eat my butt, bullet. Namaste.
Thanks a lot, guys. And you're right, model. Danny Trejo does show up as a psychopath, and he does a great job. So later, guys. Thank you.
Recycling's a scam.